Stop trolling during it. Can't you be professional? Put a shirt on, wear a tie, follow the social narrative. Don't wear an offensive hat. Film in a proper studio during it. We've got a question here. This is a very, very common question I get for the last 19 years. I've been vegan the last 19 years, and this question is how do I even start the vegan thing? What do I even do? What do I even do? Do I need to go see a nutritionist? You know, some people are like, oh, you want to go vegan? Okay, you care about the little fluffy animals. That's all cool, but you got to go see a dietitian. You got to get nutrition, get a balanced program. Here's the truth. That's absolute rubbish. You go to one. I've been vegan 19 years. Cycled hundreds of thousands of kilometres. Ran marathons. Coached thousands of people. That's my qualifications. Perfect blood test. Got my health back on track. That's my qualifications. I didn't study this at university. University is great if you want to be an engineer. Right? You want to be a surgeon? Cool, got it. But the body sciences, the life sciences, you know, feeling stuff, eating stuff, experimenting with yourself, with others, etc. over 20 years, learning from other people's mistakes. That's, for me, that's the ultimate science. Doing a scientific study at university that may or may not be biased by the professor at the time who had an ex-girlfriend who was vegan. He's like, let's debunk these vegan hippies, or vice versa. You know, science can be twisted, data can be twisted, subjective, no context, you know. Look at the whole thing with sugar. Well, the obese people ate a lot of high fructose corn syrup. What do the obese people eat a lot of as well? Fats, right? So is it the fat causing fatness, or is it the sugar eaten with the fat causing the fatness? You know, studies indicate that the more sugar you eat, the fatter you get. Because we researched some fat people who eat a lot of fat. Why don't you research the high-carb Duronite cult? No, we won't do that. That would, I mean, if you're passionate about something, you know, like if I'm passionate about carbon fibre cranks, you know, I'm going to research all the different type of fibre. I'm not just going to go stop at FSA or SRAM or whatever. I'm going to go, let's do all of them. You know, let's do all of them. Let's see what's going on. But they don't do that. They get a small control group and they take it out of context. To meet the industry's requirements, or whatever's trending on Amazon, you know. So how to go vegan, man? Just carbs, bro. Carbs. Alright, carbs. Now, you're going to have a lot of social resistance. You may or may not. Depends on who you live with. Maybe your housemates are like also Duronite fans. You know, they're all carbon up as well. So your resistance will be quite low. Maybe you go to work though, and the big you know, what's that guy, Dr. Gundry, that got the pelican neck, the pelican chin? Looks from cast from Stormboy. You know, Gundry's like, fruit is the main cause of the American obesity crisis. Fruit. You know, carbs, rice, fruit. Fruit, especially fruit. So you got so many people out there in life. Life's a big game. Life really is a computer game, right? I used to be a massive gamer in the 90s. It's a game. So if you want to play the vegan game, you get all these little bosses. Remember the boss? End of the level 1, or whatever you're playing, Mario or whatever, you know? And you have these bosses that come in, right? So the first boss is social narrative of like, you won't get enough protein, carbs are bad. And if you don't pass the boss, then you can't go to level 2 vegan. You know, I'm on probably level 1 zillion vegan. Like, I don't know what else there is to conquer in vegan game land. I don't think there's anything to conquer. I'm just playing the game from level 1 up to just going up and down and helping people go from level 1 to level 2 to level 500 or whatever. You know, and I enjoy that. I'm just like in the game, in the matrix. You can be in the meat tricks or the sugar tricks, the carb tricks. And so you'll have these people who say, oh, you can't do that, you can't do that. And that's fine. You've got to get used to that though. If you can't handle social disapproval, then you'll be stuck at level 1, you know, social disapproval, and then maybe you'll go up a few levels, and then you'll like get caught up in social disapproval, and then back down you go, and then you're just playing that game. What are you doing? You know, well, who cares what people say about your diet? You know, everyone's entitled to their opinion. You're entitled to call me a total douchebag, right? You're entitled to, you can do a video, YouTube video during ride as a total douchebag. Okay, cool. Yes, you're entitled to do that. And I'm told the video say, no, you're a douchebag. Whatever. People are allowed to say what they want to you about your nutrition. And just as you're allowed to tell them, nah, your nutrition's it's okay, okay? I can give it, I can take it. When we give it, we can't take it, then that's narcissism, sociopath, psychopath. So to be able to give and take, that's just human communication, you know. And so you might get sick of people saying, then you lose if you get sick of that. Because I get that every single day. And I love it because I love educating, because I see an objection as a request for more information. So I can talk about carbohydrates and macros. I'll do that later in the video. But this is emotional stuff. People don't talk about this. You know, I like to be real world. So many people on social media, and I've met a lot of them out there. I've been doing social media forums since 2003, giving people vegan tips since 2003. So that's 17 years online. And then 12 years on YouTube, blurting on camera. And so what I've learned is, you know, social disapproval is a huge one. You know, people really, man, people lose their chops over it. You know, people cannot handle being. They'll happily criticize others, but when you flip it back at them, then they'll lose their chops, man. Look at some of my stalkers. Imagine if they had the whatever what they do to me. Imagine if someone was doing that to them. You know, they would combust, spontaneously combust. Ripley's believe it or not. And so it's okay for people to criticize you. All right, it's okay. Doesn't matter. You know, people will leave jokes. I delete stuff as well, not because I care about me, but I don't want to have like a forum full of trolls. You know, it doesn't really create a positive environment for the noobs. So personally, I couldn't care what people say about me, really. You know, I'm like, I mean, if it's not true, then it's not fair to say, but you can say whatever you want, pretty much. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. Because I'm level 1 zillionth vegan, and I'm not going to, like, get pissed or whatever like that if you say, yeah, your protein deficiency, like, cool, man, I heard it a zillion times before, alright? It's like a fly landing on your face, and you're like, you know, you flip it out. It's like, what are you, look, maybe that's the first time a fly lands in your face when you're 2 years age, that's okay, but that reaction when you're 30 or 40 or 20 is pretty stupid. It's like when people see a spider and lose their chops. It's like, come on, man, like, how hard do you want to make this game of life? Right? How hard do you want to make this game of life? You're going to be scared of spiders and mice and cats? I knew a girl who was scared of cats. And she house-sit a house in Thailand that had a cat in it. The cutest little black and white fluffy face. And she was scared of it. And I'm like, how do you... Well, you know, I couldn't imagine. Anyway. Nobody's scared around cats around me. You spend 24 hours... If I know that you're scared of a cat or a spider, you won't be scared very long, because I'll introduce you to the cat and spider and show you the truth. But yeah, so if you're scared of social disapproval, then it's going to be really, really tough, alright? Because you can get all the carbs you want and do the During Rider protocol, which is outlined in my ebooks, Carb the F Up, During Rider's Lean Body Bible. Alright, you can get that resource is like the best protocol out there. Gets you lean, fast, fit, ends all your eating issues because you get enough carbs and you're like, sugar's good, rice is good, fruit's good, dietary freedom, done. Pizzas, pastas, ice creams, the good stuff, fruit, sweet fruit, as much as you want. Living life, you know, and there's thousands of testimonies out there, which we'll have to update on the website. And, but that's cool, so you can have that nutrition element down pat. But what if when you go to work, and you got Big Bertha or Big Benny sitting there, eating their little chicken wing, a bucket of KFC or whatever, and like, yeah, carbs are there, you know, where you get your protein from, yeah. And you might be like, but you can't be like that, because if you're getting that cortisol spike and getting stressed out, it's like, what are you doing, man? Are you being a good vegan ambassador now? You know, you might have the nutrition side down, you know your science and stuff, the basic stuff. Basic is the complicated. Like, basic's enough. Like, you know, basic glass care, if you throw a brick against the glass window, it breaks. You can study the physics of that. Will explain to me how the glass breaks, Harley. I want to understand, like, how does that glass actually fragment and splinter in the physics of that and the velocity of the brick? Is there a terminal? Like, come on. Well, how does the carbs... You can go study that if you want, you know. Me, I'm just like, okay, don't smash the glass, don't throw a brick at the glass. Okay, cool, next. life lesson to learn. And so we can make things, people love make things so complicated. Right? We make it so complicated. So you're going to have Big Benny and Big Bertha giving you that, and you just got to see an objection as a request for more information. An objection as a request for more information. And so people say to me, you don't get enough protein. What about protein? You know, you don't get enough protein. I knew a vegan and they had protein deficiency. And I'm like, oh, they're probably, not probably, they were definitely anorexic. And I bet they're probably following this guy called Dr. Greger, who promotes an orthorexic vegan program where you can have fruit, not too much, as long as it's whole, not blended or juice. You can have rice, but not too much, and definitely not white rice, and definitely not any sugar. So all you're eating is some kale, a bit of sweet potato, maybe, but not the high glycemic stuff, because it's 110 glycemic, and, you know, they're the vegans who drop off the deep end. The Tim Sheaves, the Bonnie Rebeccas, the Rilvanas who do that Greger thing, the 3-2-1-X vegan diet. You know, Greger should just call his stuff How Not to Be a Vegan. And the next book, that, hey guys, that multi-millionaire non-profit dude. And I give Greger a hard time because he deserves it. He deserves it. When you're making multi-millions from e-begging and you're claiming it's for non-profit charity, but it's in your name, I don't know, that gets me all riled up. It gets me all riled up. And the orthorexia as well. I'm just like, come on, man. Come on. And the ability to be able to contact Greger. How many comments have you seen him write back to people? Oh, he's a busy guy. He's a multi-millionaire. He should be giving back just a few comments here and there, at least. Anyway, let's the worst person to take advice from if you want to be a sustainable vegan and get results would be Dr. Greger. One of the worst. Actually, he's not the worst. There's plenty of people worth that. But that's a bad start. That's definitely a bad start. That carb restriction, intermittent fasting, weigh yourself 3 times a day, 3 or 4 cups of coffee a day. It's like, oh man, adrenal burnout. That's just like, look what happened to Lionel Sanders. Remember Lionel Sanders, the pro triathlete, doing the Greger thing? Never do vegan ever again. He failed so hard. His performance failed so hard because he did the Greger thing to the letter. Imagine that, if you just got Drew as his coach, or send me a message on Instagram or whatever. It's like, mate, you know. But then they go online and, I don't trust Drew Riders. Drew Riders, where's the fitness industry? Don't trust Drew Rider. Like, you know, like, who wouldn't know anything? He's just, you know, no. He's been a vegan athlete 19 years. He wouldn't know anything. Ask the guy with the gut. Ask the guy with the depression, the dude with the Harry Potter girlfriend. Ask the dude who's never even ran a marathon. Ask them for nutrition advice. Yeah, that's a good idea. It's crazy. So you're going to get the people, the social disapproval, and if you can't handle that, then you will just always be failing. It's like people who, they're like, you know, most people in life will never ever live the life they want because they're scared of social disapproval. They're scared what their parents are going to say, what their wife's going to say, what their boyfriend or husband's going to say, what the side guy's going to say, what the workmates are going to say, what their boss is going to say. And so we live in this mental prison because we're scared of social disapproval. Do you know why we're scared of social disapproval? Because we're designed to be, we're pack animals. Our hardwiring DNA is we lived in the jungles, right? And the jungles are full of tigers and, you know, nasty, not nasties, but, you know, animal creatures that eat humans. And so if you get cast out from your pack, then you're in the jungle by yourself. In a group, you're safer. You know, numbers, safety, numbers. And so we have this hardwire thing, you know, avoid pain, seek pleasure, save energy, and avoid social disapproval. Right? That's the hardwiring. Hardwiring. Food and warmth and shelter and water and sex and, you know, dopamine and stuff like that. That's we're hardwired for those things. And so that's why it's hard to shake the social disapproval. But once you understand, you no longer live in the jungle and it doesn't matter if people disapprove. And if you follow their approval, then you'll be one of these people out there. I watched a guy yesterday, Gundry. Do you know that Gundry dude? And the guy who's interviewing was, I think, Tom Bilyeu. I'm saying that right? Tom, he's a guy who founded the Quest Nutrition. You know, I think he's a billionaire. Go look him up. Tom Bilyeu, Quest Nutrition. Probably the most depressed person you will see, maybe the most depressed looking billionaire. His face, he looks so stressed, and I can't even I don't even know how to make that sort of level of... He's living on Diet Coke, his Quest low-carb bars, and red meat, pretty much, you know? And his face resembles that. The depression and the anxiety and the sorrow. And I'm like, bro, just do my protocol for a week. Turn that frown upside down. Give the body the sugar. So this is a hard-working, driven guy, you know? But he's just so... you know, just so scared of being vegan or having the sugar, because he's like, well, I've got to do what everyone else is doing. And it's just killing himself. But this dude's like loaded, man. Tom Billiard, fantastic speaker. I watched some of his videos on Rich Roll podcast. I'm like, this guy's on point with some of the stuff he's saying. But man, the stress in his face. Wow, go see that. Money don't make you happy. Money can't make you happy. Money can make you entertained. It can distract you. But eventually, you'll come full circle and go, what's my life purpose? And so if you're living in that social disapproval, wow, that's a prison to be in. That's the worst prison in the world. Because you have freedom. You can go walk around and go ride your bike and do this and do that and go buy your groceries. And you have all this physical freedom. But inside, you live in this emotional prison. Because you want to do stuff that makes sense and feels good and helps the planet. But you're scared of the social disapproval. You know, you want to go to university to be a lawyer or a doctor or whatever for your parents' approval, but you don't want to go there. You know, that's most lawyers I've met, most doctors I've met, MD, monetary desires, they don't really like their job, but they did it for the approval of their parents. So their parents sent them to university. This is what you're going to do. This is what you're going to do now. And you got this pressure. Your parents spend a lot of money on uni, and blah 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 blah. And I've met so many in the last 20 years, so many people who hate their parents now because they became a lawyer or became a doctor and sacrificed their life to do a job they hate, to buy things they don't need to impress the parents whom they now resent because these kids didn't live the life they wanted to live. And that is so common. That is so common. And it's not just lawyers, it's all works of people. Maybe you didn't want to be a police officer. Or maybe you wanted to be a police officer, but you became a lawyer. Or maybe you became a cleaner, or whatever job you're doing now. Did you do that because it pays well? Or did you do that because you don't care if you get paid or not, you just love doing it? And if you get paid, that's a total bonus. Like, I love doing what I'm doing, you know? If I make money, that's fantastic. You know, I get to eat. But I'm doing this regardless. Like, I wish YouTube would take away monetization today. You know, and then we would see who's left, you know? We'll see who's left. Or you couldn't sell anything on YouTube or whatever. I wish we could just do that, and then we'd see who... But no, most people would be shocked. They'd be like, oh, Athlete X hasn't done a video. Oh, for 7 years. Oh, what's going on? Like, you know, like, how many people would quit YouTube if there was no money, couldn't sell nothing? How many people actually here because they love giving and sharing to people? Unfortunately, it's a very small percent. And that's the reality. So why would you take advice from these people who are only here, who only smile to get your money? You know? They pretend to care to get something out of you. I care because I want you on the program that's going to help the planet. Now, it does help the planet. And that's why I do what I do. I have a genuine biased interest. The more people out there eating plants and fruits and riding bikes and whatever, I'm in for that. You know, and having success on the lifestyle. Not just doing it for a week or a month or a couple of years and going, nah, that was really bad. That was the worst time of my life. You know, I was really starved. I'm never going vegan. Vegan's bad. Then they make the ex-vegan videos. That's the worst. Because then the conviction's really strong. And they do that Gregor thing and they get so undercarb and glucose exhausted and say, well, I did the vegan thing. I was under guidance of the doctor, Dr. Gregor, and man, I felt like crap. I felt like at the start, but now in the end I was just dropping off the deep end. Got anemia, you know, like hormones, hunger, cravings all the time. That's the reality. That's the reality. Just join there's a great Facebook group to join. Please join this Facebook group, Whole Food Plant-Based Aussies. Join that group and see what I mean about how people struggle with the Gregor deal. Right? Whole Food Plant-Based Aussies. Go join that group. It's very, very sad to read what's going on there. Very, very sad. Whole Food Plant-Based Aussies. Please join and just read. Don't participate, just read. Flick through it. That, my friends, is a vegan thesis right there. And, yeah, so social disapproval, man. Just don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. And let's talk about the, don't worry about it because it doesn't matter. You know? It doesn't matter. Let it go. Let it go. You ever remember you're a teenager and maybe you're sober or one of your mates was drinking and there's like a bit of a fight, a bit of push, you know? And you're there like, dude, just let it go. Or maybe someone's telling you, hey, dude, just let it go, man. Just don't worry about it. Just keep walking the page over here. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about him. Don't worry about her. Don't worry about him. Just let it go. And that person's like, no. You know what I mean? I've got a guy who stalks me daily because 9 years ago, I said, let's race up a hill. Let's test our nutrition, you know? And that dude got so offended, he still stalks me 9 years on. He won't let it go, all right? He won't let it go. He's spent basically his career. He spent lots of money on lawyers in assault cases that involved me. He won't let it go, all right? So some people in the world just can't let it go. Don't be one of those people. Let it go, all right? That's an extreme end of things, you know. And again, you got to have a sense of humor about stuff in life, don't you? Otherwise, you're going to be like, this is crazy. Some crazy people out there. It's a flattering, really, though. It's a flattery that someone would be so obsessed about you to give you crap about your diet for 9 years. Make websites about you, make videos about just for 9 years on, blog posts, etc. for 9 whole years. So you're going to have that person at your workplace who might just go on it for years and years and years. Greg, you don't get enough protein. No. You know? And you're going to have to roll with it. You know, that's going to be the test from the universe to say, well, how strong are you on your convictions? Are you going to flip out? What are you going to do? You know? You're going to punch someone or get a conviction for assault because you can't control your emotions? What are you going to do? You know? Some people out there just learn the hard way. Just learn the hard way. Don't learn the hard way. Learn to be smart. Learn how to suppress the ego. Just deep breath, relax, keep moving on. All right? And that's the social disapproval there. If you don't do that, then the universe will just keep giving you lessons and lessons and lessons and lessons and lessons until one day you're in prison or you die from a heart attack or you have a stroke or whatever because you're stressing yourself out of stuff that doesn't need to be stressed out about. So that's the reality there. I saw a video a while back, whenever it was, this year, last year, forget, but it was Rich Roll podcast, which I was on years ago. And Robbie Barbaro, who you've probably known from me from promoting him for many years. I doubt Robbie will give me a shout out, but I'll give him plenty of shout outs. But anyway, so Robbie is, he has a website with Cirrus, another guy, Cirrus, you know, and you know, I want to believe in these guys, but what they're doing now, I don't believe in, I don't really enjoy because it doesn't do a service, because they're worrying about social approval at the expense of telling people the full truth about carbohydrates and diabetes. Now, if you watch the podcast of Rich Roll, please go watch it. It's on Rich Roll's channel, I think. And Robbie Barbaro is talking about sugar. And they're citing these medical studies back in the day that were just saying sugar's A-okay. So Robbie's talking about it. And Rich Roll's like, yeah, I reckon, like, wow, like, you can't be serious, like, candy? Like, wow, come on, man, come on. In his LA lawyer accent. And Robbie's sort of like, looking at, he's serious, and he's sort of looking at Rich, and he's like looking for approval before he can say the truth, versus just saying the truth, carpet bomb the truth, and deal with it. People can deal with it. He's like, is in his head, he's like, he's looking for eye contact, he's looking for like body language. Is it okay, guys, if I tell you the truth? So if you have to ask yourself, is it okay to tell the truth? I'll just give you a little half truth. Then you can't help people like that. You know, you got to give people the full truth. So if someone's watching the video, I got type 2 diabetes, what do I do for life to get, on path? And you give them the half truth, there's no integrity there. I'm sorry, that's this total lack of integrity. And that's a harsh thing for people to swallow. And that's me being big brother, tough love, and being real, not worrying about social disapproval. Why would you say that, Junada? If you know the truth, and you lie to someone when that person's looking for the truth, and you know the truth, because you give them a half truth because you're scared of social disapproval, then integrity is when you know what's behind the curtain and you're not afraid to pull the curtain open and go, look, you want the truth? This is what's here. Lack of integrity is when you peek behind the curtain and you go, okay, so that's going on. Put the curtain back. The noob walks up. Well, what do? I don't know, like just That's the half-truth or BS, and that's lack of integrity. Right? So if you know these studies, Robbie, Cyrus, talking to you, if you know these studies and you even cite them, but then you do a chart with the half-truth, where's the integrity there? How are people going to succeed? Because they'll be like, oh, you said that, and now you say that in the same day, on the same website. I'm confused. It's okay if you contradict yourself from like 10 years ago, 5 years ago, maybe last week, so actually I was wrong about that. This is how it is. Okay. When you contradict yourself from the same interview, on the same book, on the same web page, and you know you've done that, and you don't reverse it, that's not cool, man. That's dodgy. That's sad. That's lack of integrity. That's seeking social approval. That's worshipping the God of public approval at the expense of your followers' goals, health, well-being, emotional, physical. That's not cool. And that goes for anyone. I'm not just picking on Robbie and Sirius or whatever. This is for anyone. This is why I'd tell you the full truth. I don't tell you the half-truth. Like, I have sugar on my cereal. I'm not going to give you a little bowl of like, just a small bowl of cereal, a bit of chopped fruit. Hey guys, it's Instagram. It's Insta-worthy. I'm going to show you that ugly big bowl of rice balls, or cornflakes, and the oats, and the cereal, the sugar poured on top, the soy milk, rice milk. Show it to you. Doesn't look pretty, but it's real. And it'll make you feel fantastic next day. You'll be like, eat that for dinner. Next day, kicking ass. Glycogen storage, pumping. And then it's be like, oh, but to burn fat, Harley, you can't have any glycogen left. I'm like, oh, man. The last time I ran out of glycogen, can't even remember. Maybe it was once this year or something like that. Do I look obese? Oh, but you exercise, Harley. But the same people say, oh, but you exercise, Harley. How come there's so many fat cyclists out there? Nothing wrong if you're a fat cyclist. I'm just saying that you can't out-exercise a fatty diet. It'll catch up with you. And then there's people who say, oh, you exercise, Harley, are also the ones who say, oh, but you can't burn fat unless you're out of glycogen. And it's like, well, how can you do this exercise if you don't have any glycogen? Don't be rude, Hals. Don't be rude, mate. So it's crazy. It's crazy. So yeah, this is the deal. How to be vegan. It's been real, man. And seeking truth tells. And which is, but then again, if you don't know, like let's say I walk into, I don't know anything about pianos, you know. Let's say I walk into a piano school. And someone's like, no, you got to play like this. Someone's like, no, that person's, don't understand. You got to play like this. And you go, this piano over here is really good. This is the best piano. And I was like, no, this is the best piano. The piano's crap. I'm going to like, whoa, who's bullshitting me? Who's bullshitting me? You know, I'm not going to have a clue because I know nothing about pianos. So if you walk into the nutrition world on YouTube or internet or wherever, and you don't know nothing about how the body works, then yeah, you might watch my videos and go, yeah, I like sugar, sweet, makes sense, fruit, yeah, rice, pasta, pizza, yeah, give me some of that, low fat, okay, makes sense, fatty eats, fatty well, okay, cool, makes sense. And then you go and see some fake natty dude like Brian Turner, who has a steroid addiction, or Thomas DeLauer, who's like this keto dude, and even crazier steroid addiction. To take that much steroids and deny it, that is sociopathic. You know, especially when you're selling products, the people go, wow, I'll look like you, so I'll do that. These people are doing a lot of steroids every single week, alright? Keep that testosterone level really high, injecting every week. And so if you're not doing that, you'll never get those results. So I call that sociopathic, to lie to people. Say, hey guys, buy my coaching, Vivo Life Protein, or keto this, or keto that. It's like, man, this is crazy. So if you're a total noob and you're like, wow, these guys are really polite and they really smile really nicely. That Degeneration guy, he swears, he looks mean, he's nasty. No. Thomas, Brian, take my money. Yeah. You know, so that's where you got to have the understanding of human physiology. So if you don't know about steroids, you'll be like, wow, this person's really muscular. I want to be muscular too. Do you think I can be muscular like you too? Oh, steroids? I wouldn't do steroids. Steroids are bad. Steroids are bad, people. Don't do steroids. that's only the Russians do steroids in Rocky 4. I saw Rocky 4. Did you see Rocky 4? Yo, Stallone. Stallone was on steroids. He came to Australia, got busted with like boxes of human growth hormone. He was throwing, Stallone with Rocky was throwing testosterone out of his hotel room window when the customs agent, Google it up. It ain't a rumour, it's fact. He got prosecuted for it. And Athlean X, that's his idol, Sylvester Stallone. So it's just, you know, see, that's why I educate people about steroids. Because you talk about steroids a lot. It's like, I want to educate people what goes on in the world. So then you're going, oh, it's like you walk into a room and you go, okay, that person over there's stoned, that person's on steroids, that person's drunk. Imagine, this is what I've got people who are, people are like, this is not on steroids. I've taken steroids, pharma grade, hospital source steroids. I know what steroids look like and feel like. If I say someone's on steroids, they're on steroids, alright? They've taken steroids to get their results. It's just like when you've been drunk or stoned, alright? Maybe, let's say you're 10 years old. Let's say you're looking after someone's 10-year-old kid. You know, they're in the hospital. You got this 10-year-old kid now, or maybe a 12-year-old kid, and you're walking around. You're in Skid Row out of Los Angeles, and this kid's like, "Hey, what's wrong with that person on the road? They're all staggering around. Are they okay? Are they sick? We need to help them." Yeah, they're just drunk. Well, drunk. What does drunk mean? How do you know they're drunk? I can't see them drinking anything. Oh, they're drunk. Trust me, they're drunk. Well, how do you know? They're not drinking any beer. What does drunk mean? Oh, they drink alcohol. Where's the alcohol? They've got nothing in their hands. They're not drunk. You're being mean to them. They're sick. We need to help them. No, Johnny, they're drunk. Because you've been drunk. You know what drunk is. Same as if you've done any ecstasy or you've been around friends who have done like amphetamines or whatever. Or maybe you take them yourself and you're like, oh, you're chewing your lip and stuff like that. And you see that in people, you know what's going on. So someone will go, well, did you see him doing any meth? Did you see him doing any heroin? Did you see him taking any ecstasy? No, you didn't. So why are you judging people? Just because someone's chewing their lip and dripping of sweat and like melting in the seat doesn't mean they're on drugs, man. Some people just have a lot of serotonin going on. You know what I mean? Just because someone's bigger than you doesn't mean on steroids, Harley. That's the best comment, isn't it? Just because someone's got muscles doesn't mean they're on steroids. Just because someone looks like they're on steroids does mean they're on steroids. And your knowledge of steroids is, if you've never taken steroids, how are you going to know? So that's what I love people. It's like someone shows me a photo of Thailand. I'm like, that's Thailand. They're like, well, it doesn't say Thailand. I'm like, well, that's a Thailand number plate. That's a Thailand street sign. And that's a Thai temple. And that's the durian with the certain sign on it. That is Thailand. Because I've been there, and I've lived there, lived and breathed it. Same with steroids, lived and breathed it. Over 20 years in that scene, alright? We used to work in the gyms. Got some, you know, a lot of steroid taking friends over the years. So, when I say someone's on steroids, they're on steroids. So again, that's the reality. That's why I teach people. I don't give people the half-truth. Because I want to, if you're a Duranider, a die-hard Duranider viewer, then you're a lot more educated, street-smart educated, not academically educated, but you're street smart educated on what goes on in society, and you understand insulin sensitivity better, and insulin resistance. The guy who coined the phrase insulin resistance and insulin sensitivity, did you know? His name was Harry Hemsworth, and he was like, sugar isn't the issue, fat's the issue. Right? So the guy who discovered insulin resistance, insulin sensitivity, the diabetes godfather, Hemsworth, said, fat's the issue, not the sugar. Why isn't that common knowledge today? Because insulin's a great product to sell. Lightweight, shippable, super expensive, you need it daily. That's the pharmaceutical wet dream. Insulin, type 2 diabetes, metformin, etc. So that's the deal there. So how to go vegan, carbs, lots of carbs, as much carbs as you want. You know, I like having fruit for breakfast, fruit for lunch, potentially, or some sort of starch meal, lots of water in there, make it high water content. High water content just digests better. And then at night time, I've got some white rice, I'm about to smash now, a bit of pasta sauce and that. Simple, easy, so cheap. So cheap, so filling, keeps you lean. Boom, I'm age 42, and I like being lean. Natasha, my girlfriend, 21. Actually, no, she's 22 now. You know, half my age pretty much. So, you got to keep up. Got to keep up, guys and girls. And it feels good to be able to energize. And it feels good to wake up, not have to jump into a stimulant reality. Don't have to take a pill, Don't have to drink coffee or whatever, or take a caffeine thing or a Ritalin or Adderall. Yeah? If you do those things, that's fine. I'm just saying if you rely on it every day, you're not getting the carbs you need, you're not getting the water you need, you're not getting the sleep you need. People are like, well, you don't understand my lifestyle. I do, because I've lived it before. So I'm letting you know now that you need to change your lifestyle. People are scared to change, but if you want to get results, you've got to change things. If you keep doing what you're always done, you'll keep getting what you're always getting. All right, people have their like one hand over here, and then they're like, oh, give me this, and it's like, well, you've got to empty that hand, then you can carry more in your life. All right. So when you got your hand in this social approval status quo thing down here, you can't really get the full grasp, in my opinion, my experience. So yeah, people are scared of changing their life. They're scared of what the neighbours think. Like, man, I live in one of the most affluent suburbs in the world. Right? There's not many people in the world who could afford to buy a house where I live, in this area, this street, next door, etc. There's not many people in the world. People like, your house looks like emergency crisis housing. Yeah, it does. It is. But, you know, so I live in this area. It's one of the most affluent areas in the world. There's definitely more affluent places, but this is a very affluent area. So how many people in the world could go and buy a house in this area with cash or whatever? Not many in the world. Not many. So why am I saying this? I'm saying that when you drive around or you listen to people's stories or you look at their kids, their teenage kids, you know, a lot of depression. Most of them are depressed. Their parents are lawyers or accountants or doctors or surgeons or CEOs or whatever. They've got money, you know. New money, old money, they've got money. And the kids, most of the kids look depressed. You see a lot of teenage girls smoking, you see the guys like, so, you know what I mean? And it's very, very sad. It's very, very sad. So if you're a sad person, your kids are going to be sad. Alright? This is how it is. 99% of the time. So if you're living your life for your parents and your kids see that, then your kids feel that, and then you're the model, you know, for them, and then that repeats the cycle. So the best thing you can do is just downsize your life and be dead broke. I mean, being dead broke was one of the best things that ever happened to me because it made me appreciate things more. You know, when you find $2 and you're like, oh, that's a kilo of bananas, stoked. If you find $2, man, that's like can make your morning, make your day. So I found $2. I remember I found $490 once. When I was homeless and dead broke, living on welfare, I found $490. And, you know, that was like many moons, 12 years ago or something. And I was just like, you know what I mean? I was just like, all the mangoes I bought with that, I was just like, man, I was like Mac Daddy at the fruit markets for a couple of weeks. So, you know, now I'd find $490, but oh, yeah, cool. You know, wonder who this belongs to, whatever. So, you know, I'd be grateful for it, but I'm just saying that poverty is underrated, you know. And people, you know, if you're watching this YouTube video, you're living in, like, you're rich, you are loaded. If you live in this podcast, you're loaded, man. To be able to have the time, you're time rich. To educate yourself, you are wealthy. That's fantastic. So never ever go, oh, I'm broke, or blah, blah, blah. Like, being broke's good, man. Like, being broke teaches you gratitude and appreciation and simplicity and enjoying being broke. Not being broke and go, I want to get out of this, it sucks. But like enjoying the simplicity of it. Like I sleep on the street, oh, I don't have to make my bed. Oh, there's a lot of birds out. There's ants. Wow, there's 5 different species of ants where I'm sleeping right now. 5 different species, I never knew that. Like when I was homeless, sleep on the beaches in Queensland, Australia, or in Thailand even, you know, it was like, I used to save all my welfare, go to Thailand, and it's cheaper for me to live there than Australia, you know. And so I understand what poverty is in the Western sense. I don't understand what poverty is in that you die from starvation. None of us do. And that's a very, you know, that's not even poverty. That's like, what is that? That's you know, that's not poverty. That's what would you call that? There's people out there who will die today because they didn't have enough money for food. Like, that's not poverty. That's hell. That's hell. You know, there's people who weigh 500 pounds from eating all animal products and fat, and you get people out there starving. 30,000 kids say will starve. And Corona makes the news every day. Imagine if we had a clock counter in the corner of the screen, CNN, and all the kids dying from starvation, just ticking over every day. Having that worldwide awareness, you know? Australia's had like 60 deaths from corona, and most of them are elderly people, unfortunate, but you know, they were on their way out. And we're shutting down the nation, almost, you know, for that. But meanwhile, all the kids, all the homeless kids in Australia, kids getting beat or molested or, you know, drug parents or whatever, that's okay. 4 cops died the other day because there was a truck driver on ice. The truck driver ran in and it's crazy. 4 police officers died. It was insane. I can't even really believe it. And the guy who's in the car, who's cops pulled over this Porsche, and that guy was on speed as well. He failed a drug test for speed, flying in the highway. And so the cops pulled this guy up for driving under influence of speed, turns out. And then a truck driver on speed, ice, meth, what do you want to call it, crashes into the cops, kills 4 cops, and the guy who they pulled over, the Porsche driver, is on the side of the road having a leak, you know. And then so you Google up 4 police officers killed in Australia. Very unfortunate. But like, we don't live in, like, we could cure the ice epidemic in Australia like that. Like what they're doing in Duterte, Philippines. They're just executing all the ice dealers and stuff like that. You on ice, we just execute you. And it gives people on ice the ultimatum: life or death. Pretty simple. Okay, that's the best thing ever. That's just, why don't we do that in Australia? That's too logical. Right? I get that. So we don't live in a logical world. We live in a world that's run by social narratives and status quo approval. You know? Imagine that. Imagine if Australian President, Prime Minister, Scott Morrison, said, okay, we're going to bring the death penalty back. Imagine the uproar from the... He wouldn't do that because he'd be seen as like this like militant dude, even though clean up Australia, turn Australia into a paradise, get rid of all the methies and the scumbags, clean them up. Give me the ultimatum, clean it up. Imagine that. This would be fantastic. A world without ice and meth, that'd be fantastic. Or Trump. Imagine if Trump did that. If they had like Duterte, guest prime minister for a couple of months. It'd be awesome, man. It'd be freaking awesome. But they don't do that because of fear of social narrative. The human rights violations. Imagine all the SJWs. You got to give them a chance, man. We gave them the chance. They failed. Bang, bang. So that's the reality there. President Duterte, look it up in the Philippines. The Filipinos, most of them love him because he's cleaned up the whole drug situation, making it better and better. So yeah. Anyway, that's the world we live in. So once you understand all that, we went off on some deep tangents here, didn't we? Once you understand that though, then when your workmate is giving you crap at work, or your husband or whatever is giving you crap, you don't really take it personally. Because you can understand, you can empathise, relate to where they're coming from. Okay, this person's, they don't want to change their diet. I'm making them feel guilty for their poor food choices. Okay, I'm a mirror on them. They don't like reflection, so they're attacking me. So you don't have to take it personally. Okay? Or they weren't raised a certain way. They don't have the same belief as you. So if you have this assumption, this is where I've messed up in my life. You know, I treat people a certain way, and I'm like, well, you know, I gave you a massive opportunity. I built you a career or whatever. And then I ask maybe for a small little favour, like, can you pick something up from the post office? And they say no, or a shout out, or whatever. And then they say no, and I'm like, what? Serious? Like, what? You know, why do I even help you? You know? But I have to understand, these people don't think in my reality. They don't understand what the word gratitude even means. Because they weren't raised like that. You know? Or maybe they were, they just totally didn't want to care about that. So I have to understand that. So that's where empathy comes in. So when you have empathy for people, it's like an itchy nose. Give it a bit of a scratch. It's good to go. When you have empathy for people, you know? It's like I have a cat allergy. It's gotten really, really better. Really, really better. My eyes get a little bit, my nose gets a bit red here and there. But I empathise with myself. Oh, why is my nose itchy? Is there something wrong with me? What's going on? A bit of a cat protein saliva issue, you know? It's fine. Let's roll with it. But freaking out about it and wheezing about it and you work yourself up into hysteria. You can't breathe properly. Get asthma symptoms. So you know, that's the reality right there. So understanding how the world works is really, really important to having a successful life of happiness. And for me, happiness, that's success. How much money you make doesn't mean zip. If you're in that rat race competition, it might mean something. But if you're in that race, you've already lost the race. You only win the rat race when you go, see you later, I'm out. Go do what you want. Yeah, go do what you want. Otherwise, you're always going to be suffering. So that's the wrap up of the vid. Natasha, you want to say something? What you eating there? You eating carrots?
I'm eating a dip.
Eating my dip. I'm going to save my dip and my rice and Natasha, the ferocious one. But that's the reality there. So if you have, your parents have these goals for you, and if you're living by those parents' goals, they're following their parents' goals and their goals, you know what I mean? So it's got to have to stop somewhere, and why not stop with you? But social disapproval. If you worship the god of social opinion, then you will die by the devil of public opinion. Seriously. If you live for their approval, you die for their rejection. Have a good one.